What's up everybody, Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new action figure review. Today we're taking a look at Star Wars The Black Series, Anakin Skywalker, Padawan version, also from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Got this from Dorkside Toys. Unfortunately, none of the other figures from the wave have shipped yet, so I got Anakin first. But yeah, let's take a look at the box here. Of course, we've got some Hayden Christensen art right there that looks pretty dang awesome. He's number 110 in the line. There is his bio. You can pause it and read it now. On the bottom of the box, nothing really going on. On the side, you've got Anakin, and on the top, not a whole lot going on. So we're going to crack this bad boy open. We're going to look at the one accessory, and then we're going to take a look at the figure itself. All right, and here is his one accessory. It's Anakin's lightsaber. We've seen this 800,000 million times. It is slightly different than other versions of the lightsaber. I think this might be one of Rey's. You can see there's some differences there though. And of course it features the new thick hilt, and it is removable, although of course it's always a little difficult to pull them out, and you got to be careful putting them back in. There you go. It's got silver and black paint on it, and it looks good. We've seen it quite a few times. So now let's take a look at Anakin. All right, and here is Attack of the Clones Anakin in all of his Padawan glory. He still is a good looking figure because mainly my problems with the body are articulation related, but I still think he looks good. The robe color looks pretty good, fairly accurate to the promo pictures. And I think the head honestly looks a lot better in person and in this video, just the non-promo image of the figure. I don't know what was up with that, but it was like a weird caveman looking version of Anakin, and thankfully in person this does look a lot better. So let's go ahead, we'll take him off the stand and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's Anakin close up, and you can see that the face I think does look a lot better than the promo pictures, especially from like the profile, if that's what you would call this, the profile shot. I think it does look a lot better. It's like head on, it kind of looks goofy. And then you put it to the side, and boom, there's Hayden Christensen. He's chilling right there. He's got really nice sculpted hair too that has a nice subtle black wash on it, and the Padawan braid is sculpted on. It looks good. And yeah, it's just something about the head-on look that's just like, ooh, and then, huh? Ooh. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. What do you guys think? And moving down, of course, it's the Episode 3 body. It's just slightly painted different. And I have Episode 3 Anakin right here to show you the differences. You can see on Episode 2, the general costume is a little bit lighter, and the belts are different. And actually, Episode 2 Anakin does not have lightsaber storage at all, which is kind of a big bummer. But yeah, you can just see generally the costume is lighter, and the belts are different. And of course, the hand right here, this is a new forearm instead of Anakin's robot hand. Episode 2 Anakin I think should have come with the gold robot hand. I think that would have been a pretty cool accessory. Maybe a robe as well, while we're just talking about things this figure could have definitely benefited from. Maybe a green lightsaber, who knows, I don't know. But yeah, generally the paint on the costume does look pretty good. It looks accurate to the movie. Again, we've seen this body before, and there's not a whole lot going on with it. There's a nice black wash on the actual belt, so it looks a little bit dirty and a little bit used. And honestly, you can kind of tell that this forearm is new. You can see how riveted the design of the fabric is, and then compare it to the rest of the figure, or even the other arm. Like, look at how different the rivets are, so deep on this new forearm than the other costume. So it's like a little mismatched as well. Not that that's a gigantic deal, but it's just something I noticed. Oh, and he does also have some light sand brushing effects on him. I'm sure he hates that, but it does look good. So I like that it's sort of like the, you know, Battle of Geonosis-y version of Anakin. Well, I guess he's, you know, on a lot of sand planets in Episode 2. But either way, it's a nice little difference, because obviously Episode 3 Anakin has clean black boots. Well, they're like super dark brown, but you can see the boot differences there. And I think it looks pretty damn awesome. So now let's take a look at Anakin's articulation. Anakin can look up this far. He can look down a decent amount as well. Of course, the head moves from side to side, and Doesn't really have a whole lot of attitude, but you can give him the Exorcist if you want. His arms can move out that far, and of course they rotate around. No butterfly joints on this body. Of course, most of you guys are familiar with this. The new elbow does actually have a decent single joint bend there. You actually get 90, whereas on this arm, you get a little less than 90. Both arms were like this on the older Anakin, so you get one arm with marginally improved articulation, but not much. The wrist also rotates around, but unfortunately he has the horizontal hinge joint, which is not good for lightsaber posing. It works, but man, the vertical hinge just works so much better in my opinion. This arm also has the horizontal hinge. And of course you got swivel at the elbows. For the crunch, can't really go forward and can't really go back either. You do get some side to side there, but due to the sculpting of the costume, definitely has limited articulation. I think the elbows could be better, the ab articulation could be better. They just need to redo the Anakin body and tweak it and get it into a more modern Black Series articulation scheme. And it wouldn't be so bad, because like I said, it looks fine. The leg can kick out that far. The double knee works just fine, still has that ugly kneecap. He of course has thigh swivel. He can kick back that far. And of course the feet can go down pretty far. They can go up a decent amount as well. And he does have ankle pivot. So overall, not the best articulation. It's 100% dated. And it's a little bit of a bummer that Hasbro went so lazy on this guy. I'm still, of course, happy to have this iteration of the character, but I just wish the body would have been a little bit better. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and compare him to some other figures so you can see how he scales. Here he is next to Attack of the Clones Padme and the Walgreens exclusive Clone Commander Obi-Wan. Here he is with Count Dooku and Mace Windu. Here he is with the Episode 3 Anakin and the Phase 1 Clone Trooper Commander. And finally the SH Figuarts Tank Trooper and the Mafex First Order Stormtrooper. So overall, I think this figure is just all right. The articulation is very limited. The old Episode 3 Anakin body has got to go. Of course, he's also lacking tons of accessories, I think. But I also do like the head sculpt quite a bit, though. The head sculpt definitely makes up for a lot of things that I dislike from the neck down. Of course, I'm also just happy to have this iteration of the character, so there was no way I was going to skip it, even though I knew at the end of the day it probably wasn't going to be the best figure in the world. But anyways, I still enjoy it. I'd say if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, you're already pretty deep into the Black Series. There's no point not to get this figure. I don't really see Hasbro making a newer, better, improved version of this, obviously, anytime soon, as this figure just came out, so if you want an Episode 2 Anakin, this is pretty much your only option unless you want to go the expensive SH Figuarts route. So, what do you guys think of this figure? Did you pick this one up? Are you skipping out on it? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. We're always talking about Star Wars, the Black Series on the channel. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Nate, and I'll see you guys next time.